Good afternoon, dear colleagues. My name is Maryna Yevdokymenko. I'm from Kharkiv National University of Radio Electronics, and today I want to introduce your scientific result on the topic investigation of secure path set calculation approach based on vulnerability assessment. So, today the task of information security of info communication network in condition of increasing number of attacks and intrusions is very relevant. So this is due to the fact that the construction of secure network and the constant development of info communication technology and consequently the growing number of heterogeneous attacks is unfortunately not possible and requires constant implementation of protection mechanisms at all levels of OSI model. And the bottleneck is a rapid response to emerging intrusions and minimizing the spread of network attacks and resulting damages. So the successful conduct of information security violations of network can be caused by many reasons, from the presence of vulnerability in the operation system of network equipment to the incorrect hardware and software configurations. So therefore, special attention should be paid to the network protection methods that use the networks that used at the network level, such as traffic analyzer, virtual private network, firewalls, intrusion prevention detection systems, so on, including, of course, the use of secure routing protocols, thanks of which it is possible to improve security in the network too. So, as a result of analysis of existing protocol solution, it is noted that improving the efficiency of secure routing solution usually requires appropriate improvement of existing and development in new approach model methods based on adequate consideration of information about state of the network, like network topology, flow characteristic, bandwidth, network security indicator of elements, and so on. So, and to address the shortcoming and corresponding further improvement protocols and secure routing model, formulated the following requirements as you see on slide number 1. Based on this requirement, the urgent task arises to develop and investigate secure path set calculation approach based on a routing model. So at the same time, the calculation of secure path is based on the methodology for assessing information risk, as you see on figure number 1. Through the critically of vulnerabilities that are present on the network node. So the method of assessing information security risk using basic metric for critically of network node vulnerabilities was chosen because to assess the spread of an attack of the communication network, it is necessary to understand the course of attack. So as a result of exploiting of existing vulnerabilities in the network and possible damage. So, and as a result, it is difficult to assess risk in the network as a whole. And based on this, our approach proposed to assess vulnerability at the level of network element. So, on slide number 2, you can see our secure path set calculation approach based on vulnerability assessment. The proposed approach based on the routing model, the length of which you see on slide number 2. This model, in which the network structure described by graph has described a set of vertices simulated by route and include the set of edges represented in communication link and so on. So then the order of routing in the network is determined by router variables X. Each of these characterize the portion of the floor in the link between the two nodes of the network. So, and based on physical contents of use routing variables, depending on implementation routing strategy, the conditions form are imposed of them, as you see expression number 1. Also, according to our model, we have conditions for preventing overloading of communication link, expression number 2, and floor conversation condition, expression number 3. To prevent them to calculate information security risk based on exploiting of existing vulnerabilities on the node of the network, we use the following expression, as you see, number 4. According to the NIST recommendation, damage of basic vulnerability metrics at the network node are calculated as expression number 5. Thus, the potential damage from the use of vulnerability is calculated as expression number 6. There are complexity of exploiting of vulnerability according to the recommendation is calculated using the expression number 7. So then quantify the worst case scenario, then information security risk in the case of compromise of the link leaving the node. Characterize the following expression of exponential nature, as you see formula number 8. The calculate secure path. The following linear optimality criterion was chosen. Formula number 9, there are W, its weight, its root metrics that have to take into account the basic security characteristics of link. For investigation, we use initial data for calculating routing metrics based on the information security risk assessment of link according to their NIST standard version 3. In table 1 and table 2, we have a numerical value of damage indicator and vulnerability assessment system indicator for calculating basic vulnerability metrics for their element. During our investigation, the network consists of 6 nodes. In the process of investigation, 1 floor was generated, then the source node of packet was router 1, and the destination node is router number 6. The intensity of the packet flow varied from 0 to 710 packet per second. In table 3, you can see we can see initial data and characteristics of network equipment vulnerabilities. So in this table, each node of the network had a special description of existing vulnerability according to the database of well-known vulnerability of information security, CVE. To assess the effectiveness and comparative analysis of the proposed approach, model 1, this is a flow-based model based on the metric of EIGRP protocol. Model 2 was conducted. In general, the result of use the path in the network for different packet flow intensity, then using model 1 and model 2 are given in the table 4. As shown on figure 1 and 2, for example, in figure 1, as a result of solving routing problem using the proposed approach, model 1, the packet flow of this intensity 250 was transmitted firstly for router which contained the least vulnerable links. During the congestion of this route, the rest of the floor was transmitted the following vulnerable path. And at the same time, it should be noted that the path which contained the most weight vulnerable communication links was not used at all. Unlike model 1, then using model 2, the best of in terms of bandwidth, number of hops, and in this case, the least vulnerable path was loaded first. And as a result, the most vulnerable path, the link of which had the best bandwidth, transmitted the packet flow this high intensity and amounted to 230 compared to other paths. So, as conclusion, the approach to the calculation of secure path based on routing model take into account information security risk using the basic vulnerability critical metrics is proposed and investigated. There are advantages of the approach is that the calculation of routing metrics use special expression, which characterize the risk of information security in the network links. In according to this recommendation of NIST take into account different type of damage. Prospect for the development of the obtained solution should be recognized as a synthesis of model and methods of secure routing that can guarantee a given level of network security based on the calculation of use of appropriate router in the network. And last, the proposed approach for the formation of router metrics can be applied comprehensively in the process of solving routing problem of both network security indicators and service quality indicator. Thank you for your attention.